And this is Mike O'Connor with the NuVoodoo marketing team. This is the first in a series of mini webinars that we're doing to talk a little bit about some of the new security updates that have taken place, particularly on Apple. We're going to talk about that today. That have made it a little harder for marketers to track people in their marketing campaigns. And it can affect everything from geo-conquesting, those types of programs where you target areas where mobile phones have been. It can affect your ability to garner ad attribution and understand who's converting from seeing your ad to winding up in a registration box or in a cash register. And so we want to discuss the problem and the challenge and start reviewing a few different ways that we can increase the certitude that we're meeting eyeballs that are going to be engaged in our marketing content. Because at the end of the day, the return on ad spend isn't about cookies and clicks. It's usually about sales or ratings or some attribution that's important to your business. So I'm joined today by one of our most trusted providers. It's Tim Johnston. And he and his team are responsible for providing some ad tech for NuVoodoo that we're going to talk about today that really has been instrumental in our ability to improve targeting accuracy. We're such big believers in this technology. We're actually using it on ourselves as we launch a new product to a different vertical than we're used to playing in. So more about that later. We're going to discuss Apple's security update and how mobile tracking is now moved from opt-in or no longer opt-out. It's more of an opt-in. We're going to spend a lot of time on YouTube because we think this, especially in the age of cookie-less, device ID-less marketing, really does help you get the message to the right set of eyeballs. I've got some research to share with you. We're going to show you a couple of YouTube ad units that are particularly good for paying for engagement and not just reach. And we'll show you some tricks like how you could cheat on connected TV placements and maybe get on big screens for a fraction of the cost of what typically is a connected TV buy. And we'll spend the back half of the presentation on this ad tech that I shared with you. So Tim, it was quite a major change that Apple made beginning, I think it was mid last month, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Maybe you could describe for us a little bit about what that change is and what the implications are for marketers.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest implications or one of the biggest hurdles now that marketers have to get over is tracking your ideal target audience based off of who they are. And with the new Apple lockdown, they're no longer able to track who they want when they want because the viewer has full authoritative power. They're able to opt in versus opting out. So there's a lot more restrictions that are coming down the pipeline, as you had alluded to earlier on, Mike, where we're no longer able to track these viewers on their phones based off of where they are, and we're also not able to track them based off of the applications that they're using. Therefore, a lot of the IP targeting and the cookie targeting is starting to disappear.
Yeah, and so that makes targeting accuracy harder. So we need to focus on platforms, particularly walled gardens that are already collecting a lot of data that you're willing to provide, that you're doing kind of in an opt-in way, but at such a mass level that we know our reach is going to be good and the frequency of use is going to be good. And so we do at NuVoodoo, probably while Tim's company really specializes in great ad tech, we specialize in market research, and we always try to formulate marketing plans that follow not only what the customer's objectives are, but where their customer's audience spends most of their time. So we do these tracking studies regularly, and this is from earlier in 2021, where we tried to gauge the major walled gardens about how often people were using and what percentage of our total sample was using various things. So this is a sample of 14 to 54-year-olds. Conducted in early February of 2021. And what you see on the far left is that about 62% of our 18 to 54 sample it was a nationwide study of over 3,500 participants. We found that 2/3 are using YouTube at least once a day or more often. And about 1/3 of 18 or 14 to 54-year-olds are using YouTube chronically 3, 4, 5 times a day or even more. So that gives us a platform that delivers both reach and frequency. It has broad demographic appeal, leans just a little bit more heavily in men, particularly men under the age of 44, but certainly women index at better than 50% usage in just about every major demo cell. And for advertisers needing to reach African-American and Hispanic audience, this is a very powerful platform for getting that done. Now, one of the things, Tim, that I noticed as the pandemic hit and more of our clients transitioned to at-home type marketing, and we used a lot of YouTube in March of 2020, is that suddenly the amount of YouTube impressions appearing on TV screens jumped. And I know you saw that too, and you've kind of embedded and made YouTube kind of part of your client connected TV solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've noticed that a ton of our advertisers' ideal target audiences are spending hours each day on a YouTube connected TV device. It's the second most preferred platform amongst that 18 to 34-year-old demographic, where they're spending countless hours on an Apple TV, a Roku, an Amazon Fire TV, et cetera. And what we're able to do now is take your YouTube advertisements and place it on a connected TV device whenever a viewer is watching it through the YouTube app.
Yes, this gives us a lot of high quality reach, because there's no better digital ad unit than digital video that runs on big living room and bedroom TV screens. And YouTube has a lot of different ad units. You know, there's ones where you're guaranteed to force somebody to spend 15 seconds or 6 seconds of a commercial without being able to skip. And that's fine, but you're charged every time an impression is served. For some advertisers, particularly ones that aren't quite sure about who are the qualified sets of eyeballs within the targeting radius and demographic group that they're looking at, where it's better to pay for performance, better to pay only for people who are engaged. And if somebody skips a video impression, you don't pay for it. Your budget goes a lot further. And so YouTube is the platform that offers what I think is one of the best ad units for engagement. It's called a YouTube TrueView ad. You're charged after 30 seconds or the full length of the spot, whichever is shorter. So we always usually recommend 30 seconds. I know that sometimes there's a reason to do 15s. TrueView is mostly about in-stream ads. That is videos that appear next to other videos, but it isn't exclusively that. And one of the ways that we can increase the reach while maintaining the pay for performance is to use something called discovery ads. So basically they can be like tile ads that show up in a contextually relevant fashion, whether it's in search results or next to other videos covering the same content that you might be advertising. These two are powerful, and the impressions that get served on TrueView discovery ads can really make up for the fact that when you're paying for engagement, you might not get as much frequency of a message. But I think probably one of the most interesting things, and one of the reasons I called you guys first to form a partnership with us, Tim, is your semantic targeting technology. So maybe explain a little bit more about how this takes that concept of engagedness to almost to a steroidal level.
Absolutely. So with the new restrictions that are coming into place, all cookies and user data is being completely eliminated. And so what we developed was an AI semantic targeting analysis, where we're targeting viewers not necessarily based off who they are or what they've done online in the past, Mike, but based off the keywords and the phrases that are being spoken inside of the video that viewer is about to consume. And so once we understand what the main sense of that video and or editorial content is talking about, we're able to align an advertiser's ad with what that viewer is interested in at that very moment, creating a seamless transition between the two in a high quality branding and awareness play. So we work across numerous different verticals, whether it's finance, automotive, travel, tourism, higher education, radio, et cetera. What's really unique about the technology is that it can adapt based off of who your ideal target audience is. So if we know our audience is very interested in Guns N' Roses, ZZ Top, the Eagles, Rolling Stones, and maybe lotteries and casinos, big money prizes, reward programs, whatever it may be, we'll build out some market research and audience analysis based off this audience and create a customized keyword targeting approach to hone in on them and their real-time interest.
So semantic targeting essentially is, I mean, in a perfect world, I'm watching advertising that's related to what or I'm serving my ad into a video that's related to what I'm selling based on keywords, so that it's you're actually pre-qualifying the video before the pre-roll serves next to it.
Right. So before that viewer even clicks play, we've already done a full speech to text analysis and analyze the relevant categories and keywords that are being spoken inside the video the viewer is about to watch. So again, once we know what that video content is talking about, we're going to align our advertiser's ad with what that viewer is interested in real time.
And I know you have a lot of specialized requests where your clients are giving you kind of the keyword sets, but I also know that you've done so much of this that you've classified pre-existing sets of keywords and have a pretty good idea of how to reach qualified prospects by category.
Right. So we've created a list of 36 different categories that are associated with a cloud of 50,000 relevant keywords. So when we go and we target different videos, we're going to target videos where the relevant keywords are spoken inside the video the viewer is about to watch. That's also associated with the category as kind of the overarching idea.
Yep.
Then we create a customized keyword approach based off of relevant brands, competitors, current events, celebrities, movies, or award shows to, again, really hone in on that audience based off what they're interested in real time.
Yeah, so we basically, when we have a video, a client that wants to do video, and they have a very specific audience, and particularly B2B, first thing I do is call these guys. And I should point out that in addition to the semantic targeting, you do all the regular sorts of programmatic media buying and targeting as well. And I know that you're able to even decipher language, for example.
Right. So we do understand that contextual targeting has its limitations in and of itself. To ensure that we're reaching the appropriate audience, we're able to leverage different geo-targeting, device targeting. That audio recognition technology can understand upwards of 26 different languages, in addition to data targeting. So this can be age, ethnicity, household income, job title for a B2B play. The limitations are really endless there.
That's really incredible. And you do more, I should point out, than just simply place YouTube pre-roll. We can be basically anywhere there's a video pre-roll available.
Right. So we have YouTube as a global premier partnership, connected TV and OTT with access to over 650 different channels, and then the network of premium publishers, where we can also put together a site-centric approach based off the advertiser and their ideal target audience.
All of this stuff helps marketers get away from relying on cookies and device ID. And of course, there's always the issue of click fraud, ad fraud, these kind of server farms that just suck up impressions, especially in the connected TV space because it's such valuable inventory. But you guys have a full gauntlet of security protocols.
Right. So in order for us to even consider sourcing some of the inventory, it has to check off a number of different boxes, Mike. One of the most important is fraudulent activity. So we partner with a company called Integral Ad Science, Moat, and Double Verify, the three industry leaders, to ensure all the impressions that we do serve are actually human verified traffic, not fake impressions or fake bots.
Yep, everything brand safe. You don't have to worry about your ads showing up in a really kind of unfriendly environment. So we talked a little bit about the cookie ID, the device ID and cookies problem and what that means for marketers, how you can use YouTube's contextual relevance and the ability to pay for performance, as well as ad tech that Tim's company makes available through NuVoodoo to its advertisers. And that really does add steroids to any kind of program. We do all sorts of programs, video buys, social media buys, direct mail, even good old fashioned office telemarketing, whatever the mix of assets that we need to put together to create a custom solution for our clients is what we do. And I welcome you to give us a ring at any point. If you'd like a little bit deeper dive into what Tim's ad tech can do for you, we'd certainly welcome an email. You can just reach out to me, Mike O'Connor, at tellmemore@nuvoodoo.com, and we'll be sure to get in touch back with you really soon. Thanks for your time today, Tim, and I really appreciate you joining me for this short video.
Thanks, Mike. Take care.